Hi MPPNs, once again good morning. We will learn now science. We are going to learn science. What is the name of the chapter? Features of living beings. That is chapter number 1. And this is part 3, isn't it? We have completed 2 parts of this chapter. So let us have a recalling that what did we learn? We learned about different features of the living beings. And what are those features? It's here. What are the features of living things? The living things move, they feel, breathe, feed, grow, and reproduce. These 6 features are there, very common to all the living things. Okay, in the first part we had completed the movement and feeling of living things. In the second part, we completed breathing and feeding habits of living things. So today what we will learn? We will learn the growth and reproduction in living beings. So are you ready? Okay, so it starts here. Let us move to the first one, which is that living things grow. All the living things can grow. Look here. All the living things feed to grow and work. All the living things feed to grow and work. See, the baby has been fed by its mother. Is it? Feeding is done. We all take our food to grow and work. In the previous part, we have learned that all the living things take food and they drink water. Why do we take food? We take food to grow and work. But non-living things cannot grow. Non-living things cannot grow by their own. For example, if you bring a toy today, can it grow after 6 months? No, it will be same. Or if you bring a car, will it grow? No, it cannot grow. Or a stone or soil, these things cannot grow. Why? Because they don't have life. Only living things can grow and work. Okay. A baby grows and he becomes a man. See this picture? First he was an infant, then baby, then a child, then he became a man. A baby becomes a man. Okay. Then next example is a kitten becomes a cat. A kitten becomes a cat. See the photo? A kitten, sweet kitten. This kitten will grow after taking food. It will grow and it will become a cat like its mother. Okay. So you have understood this? Okay. This topic is not completed. We are moving ahead now. We will see some more features of living things. See, these are the animals which grow. For example, a chick. Chick grows to become a hen. See, a chick grows to become a hen. Second example, a seed grows to become a plant. See, number 1, it was a seed only, and in number 2, it has has roots. Then number 3, it has developed its leaves, and number 4, it has become a plant. Isn't it? That is what growth in plants. Then next example is a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. It grows into a butterfly. See this picture. In the first one, it was a caterpillar, then pupa, then it became a butterfly. Got it? These are the different stages of growth of living beings. And finally, small plants become big trees. See this picture. The plant was very small, then it got large, then it became a big tree. This is what? The growth of living things. Clear? Okay, let us see some more features about the living things now. Growth brings change in shape and size. When the living things grow, their shape and size is getting changed. After growing up, living things live for some time. We living things grow, and after we got our growth, we will live for some time. And some insects like the fly and bee may live for only a few days. Okay, there are some insects like fly, bee, and then mosquito, butterfly. All these insects live only for a few days, but other animals may live for some years like dog, cat, lion, elephant. These animals may live for some years. Are you getting me? Okay. When they get very old, they die. All the animals as well as human beings grow from baby to an adult. Then after growing up, we live for some time, and it differs from insect to the animals to the humans. And after we get very old, what happens? We die. Now some pictures are here. What are they? They are fly and bee. These fly, bee and mosquito, I told you, they can live only for a few days. But there are many animals which can live for many days. So shall we move ahead? Okay. Living things reproduce. Living things reproduce. That is what its next feature. Living things can reproduce. The last feature of living beings. Sixth feature. Let us see what is this reproduction. All animals and plants produce their own kind. All the animals, whether it is animal, bird or human being, and plants, all of them produce their own kind, similar kind, and this process is known as reproduction. What is reproduction? The process through which all animals and plants produce their own kind is called reproduction. The process through which all animals and plants produce their own kind is known as reproduction. Okay. Now see this picture. What is this? It is ginger, is it? And this ginger has grown into a plant. This process is known as reproduction. Let us learn something more about reproduction now. Only living things can reproduce. Non-living things cannot. Okay. I told you that living things only can grow, only the living things can move, only the living things can react and feel, only they can take food and water, and the living things only can reproduce. Non-living things cannot reproduce. Okay. For example, cars cannot produce more cars of the same kind. If you bring a car or two cars at your home, will it be three after some time? No. But if you bring one or two dogs at your home, it may produce its own kind. It means that only living things can reproduce. If you plant a rose plant or a banana plant, after some time you can find one more plant along with it. Is it? You can produce another plant from that banana plant or a rose plant, which means that living things can reproduce but non-living things cannot reproduce. See the example. What is this? A plant is coming from the seed. Reproduction. One plant has reproduced its own kind. It has produced its own kind, and that process is called as reproduction. Got it now? Okay. So let us learn something more about reproduction. We will see the reproduction in animals. Okay. The females such as women, cow, cat, bitch and mare give birth to the babies. Okay, whether they are animals or human beings. All the female kinds of animals and human beings give birth to the babies and we reproduce. We reproduce our own kind by giving birth to the babies. And who gives birth? Only females. Males do not. Okay. And some animals like frog, lizard and bird reproduce by laying eggs. Some females give birth to babies, but some females of some animals like this frog, lizard, bird, etc. What do? They reproduce by laying eggs. They lay eggs and from that egg the new baby comes out. That is also a way of reproduction. Okay. Some animals lay egg on land. Now these animals like is it a frog or lizard or bird or fish? Some animals lay egg on land and some others lay egg in water. Okay, let us see the examples here. These are the animals which lay eggs: fish, hen and insects. Some of the insects. Okay, and see their eggs also. You can see them. You can see the eggs in the pictures. The insect and hen, they lay their egg on land, but the fish lay its eggs in water. The next example is frog. Frog lays its egg in water. Tortoise, it lays its egg in water. All the birds lay egg in land. Snake lays its egg on land. So got it? This is how the animals reproduce. Some animals give birth to the babies and some animals lay eggs either on land or in water. Okay, so continue now. Now we will learn about the reproduction in plants. We have completed the reproduction in animals. Next is reproduction in plants. Let us see how does it reproduce. Many plants produce seeds. Have you seen the seeds of plants? Tell your parents to show you. Okay, after you eat an apple or orange or grapes, you can see seeds there. Or you might have seen wheat at your home. That is also a seed. And many of the flowers are having their seeds. Okay, tell your parents, they will show you. Many of the plants produce the seeds and new plants grow from these seeds. I showed you a picture. A plant was coming out from the seeds and these seeds convert into a new plant. Okay, that is how the reproduction in plants occur. And it is not the only one method by which plants reproduce. Okay, there are other methods also. I'll tell you this way, by giving seeds. The adult plants produce young plants. The young plants or the baby plants are produced by the adult plants by through their seeds. From the seeds, the plants produce seeds, and from these seeds, new plant comes out. That is what reproduction. Okay, these are the photographs for that. In both the photographs, you can see that from a seed, that seed is changed to a new plant. That is what reproduction. Got it? Okay, it is not completed. We will see some more examples. Some plants can produce baby plants from their buds, stems or leaves. Some of the plants produced by seeds, okay, but some other plants can reproduce through their buds, stems or leaves. It means that the plants reproduce by using their different parts. Some of the plants are there which produces their young ones from their root. Some produce from their stem, some from their leaves or buds, or in this way there are different parts of the plant as used to reproduce. Okay, let us learn something more. See the picture. Buds, this is what a potato is. A new potato plant will be grown from these buds. I think you might have seen it. A new plant of potato is grown from the buds of this potato. Next example, this is a plant. A new plant is growing from the stem. From the stem, a new plant is coming out. See the third example. Here, the reproduction is done from the leaf. From the leaf, a new plant is originated. A new plant is grown. Okay, it means that there are different parts of the plant which will convert into a new plant, or it originates a new plant, and that is known as reproduction. Okay, so moving ahead. No, we have come to the end of the chapter now. We have discussed all the features of the living being. Okay, now let us have a revision. What did we learn? We learned the features of living things. The living things can move. They can move from place to place. Only living things. Non-living things cannot move. Then there are various methods by which they move. Plants do not move as a whole, but their parts show movement. Then we saw that they feel. Only living things feel, but non-living things cannot. And the animals and human beings feel suddenly, they react. We suppose if we are pricked by a needle, what do? We just pull our hand back. But if you touch the leaves of touch me not plant, what will happen? It will not pull it back, but its leaves will be folded. That is what feeling and reaction in the living things. The third feature is living things breathe. Only living things can breathe. Non-living things cannot breathe, and there are different parts of the body they use to breathe. For example, human beings use nose and lungs. The fish use gills. Plants use stomata. Where do we find stomata? On the leaves. Okay. Next feature is feeding. Only the living things can take in food and water. Non-living things cannot. Okay. Next example is growing. Growth is a feature only of the living things. We take food and it helps us to grow. Last example is reproduction. Only the living things can reproduce its own kind. Non-living things cannot reproduce its own kind. So these are the topics we learned today. The first chapter is completed. I think you have got all the things of the chapter. You got it understood? Good. This is the time to wind up our class. Take care. You'll stay at your home only. Okay? Bye.